Welcome to the Wildcast Podcast, coming to you from Wildcast Studios with your hosts Adam Lund and Jeremy Boucher.
Oh, welcome back to the Wildcast Studios for the playoff episode of the Wildcast Podcast, your unofficial voice for all things Moncton Wildcats. As always, fan listeners, I am your host Adam, and I am joined by your favorite co-hoster who made it to Halifax in a snowstorm. Luckily, made it back to us with no snowstorm, Mr. Jeremy Boucher. How are you?
Let me just say, Adam, I'm doing a lot better than anyone out there who attempted to purchase Morgan Wallen tickets.
Yeah, I bet that was fun. First of all, I really don't know who that is, but I know who he is, but I don't know like a lot of his songs.
Let me just say that he's probably one of the top singers. I would say country music singers.
Yep.
In the entire world right now.
It's funny when you said that to me, I was like, who is he? And you're like, he's the biggest country star. He texted. I'm like, I thought that was Luke Combs.
Yeah.
Well, I thought Luke Combs was the biggest.
Luke Combs is, I mean, he's good too, but Morgan Wallen is just progressed.
Next level.
Yeah, he's next level. His songs, you can tell that they're written by him, and you can feel the passion in the lyrics. And honestly, no, like 3 months ago when YQM announced their lineup for the Friday and Saturday, you could get a 2-day weekend pass for, I don't know, let's say $199.
Right.
Okay. That would cover your Friday and your Saturday. Well, they went and changed. Now they've got a Thursday show with Morgan Wallen, and the tickets went on sale Monday morning at 10, and within an hour, Tier 1 was sold out, Tier 2 was sold out, and now they're selling Tier 3. So if you were too late getting on and you missed out on Tier 1 and Tier 2, you're now paying $350 just to get the Thursday show added. So that's, at the end of the day,
on top of $199?
On top of the $199. So some people are paying, $600.
It's like they're taking their ticket learning from the Wildcats and Ticketmaster. Like, why wouldn't you announce all three and put it in a 3-day package?
Well,
like, that just seems kind of scheming.
Yeah, I kind of, I had heard a rumor that, there was going to be an act announced for either in this area.
Yeah.
That was going to be a $3.5 million paycheck to the performer. And my first guess was maybe Garth Brooks on the hill, because Garth Brooks, he fills up, whatever the rink is in Edmonton like crazy. He fills
Rogers,
up
Gillette Stadium. Like, he just did a stadium tour. Yeah.
He fills up those pretty easily.
Yeah.
And you've got to think that he costs a pretty penny to get to town, and lo and behold, it's Morgan Wallen getting a $3.5 million check.
To show up for one night.
To show up to Moncton. And now we know why they're charging, $300, $400 to get a ticket to this extra show, because they've got to somehow recuperate that that money.
Yeah, and but people will pay for it because
people are going to pay for it.
Yeah,
like Tier 1 sold out, Tier 2 is already sold out. Now you're paying Tier 3.
Well, when that came up, like when that was announced, and you and Chris had some sources that were pretty bang on, but
yeah.
If I didn't know you guys, A, my life would be sad. B, I would have been able to know who was coming because my Instagram stories was YQM, 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 which is what you do. You like and you share.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this guy seems to be a pretty big deal.
Yeah, no, he's pretty big. And
so,
I mean, at this point, I don't have a weekend pass. So if I want to go to this concert and go Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I've got to find myself $600 to go. And that doesn't include, my drinks or my food. And,
you actually just have to find yourself $300. Megan can find her own money.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah.
And then you got to find a divorce lawyer, probably.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't go without her. I'm not going to go alone, right?
Yeah.
But it's it would literally be $600 per person.
And that's what you paid. Is that what you paid for
Cavendish? It was $625 for two of us
for 3 days.
For 3 days.
And you need to find $600 for one show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oof.
Well, it's just
There's a lot of
absolutely-
bands I will pay $300 for, and or there's not a lot of bands I would pay $300 for. That now, if there's certain rumors where there's a certain couple boy bands that maybe putting something together in a stadium tour, 100%. I'm at $300 a ticket to see NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys, provided it's all five. But yeah, that's that. It just kind of seems like when you were talking about like kind of shady. Like of the three guys, Morgan Wallen, Thomas Rhett, and Keith Urban. I know Keith Urban, and I might be able to name you 5 songs of the other two. Actually, I can't name you any songs, but if I heard them, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I know that one.
Yeah.
Like there may be 5 or 6 total that I would know. So for me, like I'm more of an old school 90s. Like Garth Brooks, absolutely, I would pay
100%.
that money to go to the Hill. You being in the studio, the new house, can I hear it from my back deck?
How far are you? Honestly, if the wind's blowing the right way, you probably could. Because honestly, you're just over. It's just over the highway, right?
I think so. Yeah.
So if you,
Where is it?
it's at what is it? The music art or something music art. It's on Notre Dame Street in Dieppe. Yeah, so you're pretty close. I mean,
pretty
you
close,
would honestly, you just have to cross the highway, and then you're a couple streets over. You could, if you were adventurous enough and you were willing to cross the highway, you could probably walk from your house to there in maybe 20 minutes, give or take.
Yeah, it'd be pretty close because I'm right here.
Yeah, so you
So,
could. I mean,
yeah,
like I
that's
said,
not bad.
if you were adventurous enough to cross the highway
Yeah.
on a Thursday night, or on a Thursday afternoon, a Friday afternoon, a Saturday afternoon in the middle of August, you're probably cutting your walk time by 10 minutes at least, but that's dangerous.
Absolutely.
Do not recommend.
No, not for those 3, but
Yeah. So I know, sadly, we actually lost when AC/DC was here many years ago. There was a young lady that actually was struck and killed by the concert site, trying to cross the Trans-Canada Highway by the McDonald's, and that's why we say, do not recommend. It's super dangerous, and it's look, if I'm gonna walk, I'm gonna
walk properly.
Walk properly, park somewhere that I know that I can get to my car safely after the show, and I can't see a scenario where I go now,
Yeah.
right? Because
I can see 1.
if I win tickets,
I could see 2. I don't know which one's going to be easier, but 1 is winning tickets. 2 is, even though they did a fantastic job last year, if Scotty and Tony, again we plea, need our help hosting, getting them coffees, running to get them water, being errand boys for them, I will gladly do that.
yeah, I could see
And
myself
or-
doing that.
Gladly allow your wife to take my spot. Well, no, you know what? If we're doing this as a team, we're doing it together. So yeah, those are the only 2 ways that I can see either one of us getting in there. And if I win the tickets, I guess it's going to be like Shania. I might make a pretty penny.
You would make a significant penny, and I would be the first person to line up and be like, "Yo, let's make a deal here." And no, I just can't see a scenario where if I win, that needs 50-50.
Yeah, there it is.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think it's out of the question.
Did you catch up on any WrestleMania?
So I did the whole find a guy on TikTok who points his phone at his TV and does a live stream.
That is, it's awesome, eh?
Yeah.
I have the network, so I didn't do it for this one, but
So I only caught the Saturday night.
probably Saturday night. Depends which match you're talking about.
I'm talking about must have been Sunday night. It was the
Because I know you weren't up.
Roman
Roman
Reigns.
Cody. Did you watch it?
Yeah,
The whole thing?
with the TikTok help.
Up till 1 a.m.?
Yeah. Well, I fell asleep.
Ah, yeah.
And I set an alarm for like 11:45, knowing that was going to be probably the start time of the match.
And then it was night 1 was so much better than night 2. I was actually pretty sad that some of the matches on night 1 and the hockey game ran into it, which we're going to get into why it ran into it. But I'm just like, night 2 was terrible. It started like crap. there were so many fillers. The Finn Balor Edge match ended at I think like a quarter after 11, 20 after 11 Atlantic time. And by the time they did the intro for like the recap of the Cody Roman thing, it was like 10 to 12. It was like 30 minutes of commercials and fillers.
Yep.
And I'm like, A, that's terrible. B, I know now why there's like, when I used to watch pay-per-views, it was 3 hours and that was it. There was no commercials. There was the odd commercial for the next pay-per-view or whatever. But, you know, I was talking to Eric from the local former wrestler, and he likes a good 3 hour pay-per-view. And I'm like, absolutely, I get it. I would rather have that. The problem is WrestleMania, they're given too many WrestleMania moments.
Yes.
Which, when it was in New York, Kofi Kingston won. The place went nuts, and then it was just driven down because there's still 2 more matches left, and it's 6 hours long. So I am very impressed that you stayed up to watch the.
Well, let's clear the air here. I didn't stay up.
No.
Right.
But
set
you
an
were
alarm.
up. Yeah.
I was awake. Yeah, and it's you know, I just honestly popped open my phone and found a guy on TikTok that was, you know, had his phone pointed right at the TV, and it was clear as day. You know,
it
was super, probably the easiest way to watch a pay-per-view.
It's how I watch a lot of Oilers games when they're regionally blocked out. Thanks Sportsnet. Nothing better than getting to see Carolina versus Arizona, but I can't see Edmonton and I don't know, Vancouver because it's regionally blocked out. But yeah, that's what I do is I find it on TikTok, flip my phone sideways, and somebody's got it going. So follow us for more tips. Big Brother, how caught up are you? Is Zach still in it?
So Zach is still in it.
Nice.
I believe he's on the block this week, and I believe he probably ends up going home this week. Santina. Did you also pick Santina, or is that the one I picked?
That was one you picked.
I picked. So she's had a household this week, and she nominated Dan and Zach, and I believe Dan won the POV, so he'll likely take himself off. And unless something different changes or a twist in the game, you're probably going to see your boy Zach out the door this week. So
I do like twists in games I don't watch, so let's hope we get to that. As always, don't forget you can follow us on the social medias: Twitter, Moncton Wildcats, Instagram, Wildcats Podcast, TikTok, Wildcats Podcast, and of course you can like and subscribe on the YouTube. Let's get to some news and notes from around the queue.
News and notes from around the queue.
So there's not much real news going on. I guess both Moncton and Baie-Comeau have applied for discipline from the league. I know what Moncton's was for, and it was a legit case. I don't know what Baie-Comeau's would be for. Both were rejected, so both got a $500 fine. Quebec.
One amount is a little easier for one of the organizations to pay.
Yeah.
What really? Did Baie-Comeau do that? Like was
yeah.
that today? Or
yeah.
really?
Friend of the show and pregame co-host, thanks to Alpha's Appliance Solutions, Kevin Barrett. He shared it on his Twitter.
Oh, is that right? I wonder if it was the Hamel hit in OT or whatever it was. That big
could have been
kaboom.
Yeah. The request for discipline rejected, $500.
Nice.
So
yeah, it's the only thing I can think of. It's the only thing
maybe something behind the net where that whole ruckus,
the high sticks,
the cross checks, the everything, and
Yep.
it's you're gonna see so much more of this into next year. But we digress. We made a mistake. We should have had Kristaps on the show, big Sea Dogs guy. And there's some big Sea Dogs news as Trevor Georgie is moving on up. Mm-hmm. He is now the CEO of, and I literally had it, and now I don't know.
Something Sports Entertainment, the
WWE Sports Entertainment.
That's right. Something that whoever runs the Sea Dogs now, or so, isn't that what it is? The business, the business that runs the Sea Dogs, JM something.
He is now the vice president and CEO of JSM Sports Entertainment.
That's right.
Which is basically a
company that's going
private investment holding company focused on owning, operating, and investing in the sports and entertainment sector. They have a new Twitter, hashtag not a sponsor, but
so is that the company that's going to run TD Station now, or is that
again, we should have had Dobson on here.
Yeah.
Maybe next week we'll get actually, you know what? Maybe next week we'll just reach out to Trevor.
Well, that's it. Yeah,
see if
bring
we
him
can
on
get
the show.
Absolutely.
And, there's word that they're I mean, this would be an excellent hire, but their current assistant general manager, Anthony Stella,
Yeah.
will take over as
I thought I saw a tweet about that, and
yeah.
I forgot to save it.
Will take over the new role of, I guess, general manager of the Sea Dogs, and that's an excellent hire. Knows the team, knows the league. Should do a pretty good job of turning around Dobson's boys.
Dobson's boys. I mean, yeah, Trevor obviously knows how to run a franchise and has done good things in St. John since he's got there. Since I've been here, I don't know how long he's actually been there. If it's been longer than 5 years,
it's been around for a while. It's I mean, he's probably going on 5, 6, 7, maybe 7 years that he's been around. He's done obviously a really good job with the Sea Dogs. We don't want to, boost his ego any very much. We gotta kind of keep it focused on the Wildcats here. But no, he's.
I feel like he left him in a good spot though.
Yeah,
Draft pick wise.
They're gonna make some probably some moves to get some more picks, and they'll be back in it probably in 2-3 years here, at least probably 3. I shouldn't say that, 3 or 4 for sure. But no, he's they're in a good spot going to the draft. They don't have that first round pick of theirs because of his probably worst trade he made as a general manager. But other than that, they're pretty good, and they've got Nicholas Bilodeau in the back end, who
seems to be doing quite well. Almost
put up as good of a season as Morin, and they've got Cole Burbridge, who's going to be has a pretty good year as well, and. So they've got 2 solid building blocks up. They've got a building block in Bilodeau. They get a building block in
Brito, the goaltender.
Brito. They've got Burbridge. So they're they'll be back there within 3 or 4 years.
And this is how we tie it all in to Moncton. Is they have our 2nd round pick this year. Mm-hmm. They have Bacomo's 2nd round pick, a first, Gatineau's first next year in 2024, and then a first in 2025. So they'll probably move some guys to get some more picks, but they have some building blocks to build it. So if it is Anthony Stella, he's got a good foundation to kind of start building it with. Unrelated to the Q, the Amherst Ramblers made some behind the bench changes. That's all I'll say. No QMJHL team of the week.
That's notable names.
Yep. No QMJHL team of the week or player of the week. You probably don't have a team of the week, eh?
I do not.
You retired that for the season? Perfect. All right. Let's get into some playoff matches. That'll be the notes from around the league. Playoffs have had some absolute great games. Mm-hmm. We'll get to our series in a bit. But, just your thoughts on some other series. Sherbrooke, Blainville, 2-0 for Sherbrooke. Gatineau, 2-0. Halifax, 2-0. Victoriaville, Drummondville, Rin, and Shawinigan, 1-1. Both those games went to double overtime, and then the other team won after losing in double overtime. Quebec's kind of leading theirs. Halifax up 2-0, and probably the surprise of the playoffs, the Rimouski up 2-0 and Chicoutimi.
Obviously the Sherbrooke, the Gatineau, the Halifax, not much of a surprise there.
Actually, I was kind of like Halifax being up 2-0 doesn't surprise me, but the way that Cape Breton's played, like that first game they come out and I think they outshot them 14-4, and then they were up 3-0. Like we talked about how Cape Breton was going to have to play 7 perfect games or at least 4 perfect games to beat them in a 7-game series, and so far they've played 2. They couldn't get the results in game 1. They got the results early on in game 2 with Ivan, so good his parents named him twice. They just couldn't hold on, and I think they've put a little bit of a scare in Halifax.
Yeah, I think they gave Halifax a bit of a wake up call there, and in game 2, and it came out similar to what we're going to talk about here in a bit. Coming back from a 3-0 deficit to win game 2, and I guess the only difference is in that game 2. Here in Moncton, my cousin didn't score the overtime winner. That's the only only difference. Halifax, I kind of had a feeling they'd win both games. I know I said last week on the show that Moncton would win both games. I was a goal short away from that. I was also a goal short of Drummondville lost game 1 in OT and then won game 2. So, that was the team I picked as an upset. All right, and so they were a goal away from having a 2-0 series lead, and Rimouski seems to have found a another gear, and they're getting some contributions from all over the ice. So there's been some really good games. There's been some overtimes. There's been some comebacks. There's been some blowouts. There's been a little bit of everything in that first weekend.
Yeah, if you have the CHL package, you're enjoying some good hockey all across the country. But specifically here, I mean, Blainville, they at least scored 3 goals. I didn't think they would. St. John hung around in game 1 for a little bit. That Rouyn-Noranda-Shawinigan series, I said if Cologne might steal a couple games, but he hasn't even played. Like Delafontaine played double overtime. Gio DiMattia got his first win in a playoff game. Those series might go 7, and that's the best part about Ren and Shawinigan's a little bit far, but Victoria and Drummondville's so close. That would be so much fun to be at.
Yeah,
like those Quebec atmospheres compared to what we've seen that we can get into in a little bit, but those Quebec atmospheres, Sherbrooke with the whiteout. I think Baie-Comeau's going to try and go with the sea of red. It's watching those two, and I don't understand the lick of French, as everyone knows, but I was tuned into the Victoriaville-Drummondville game 1, and once that one finished, it was perfect timing. I flipped over to Ren-Noranda and Shawinigan and got that one in double overtime. I hope these continue throughout the playoffs, and there's a couple series that obviously are going the way they're going, where teams are just too good. But once you get into that second round and these teams are going to face each other, and even in like that third round, if all the top 4 get there, we are in for some dandy hockey.
Yeah, that's probably the most thing I'm looking forward to the most is just getting into at least the third round, where barring any upsets, we're in for 2 barn burners of a series, probably some long series too, and these teams are going to hurt. They're going to go into the finals, hurt them. They're going to be hurting come the finals, and they're going to be hurting in the Memorial Cup, and the pressure's on the Q here. We've got a bit of a Mem Cup streak, and I don't know. It might be. I don't know if it's up for grabs this year or not. It's with the amount of contenders there is, and the amount of hatred between some of these teams, there could be some players beat up by the time we get to mid May and end of May.
Yeah, and it's I like when we get into the third round. Obviously, the Q goes to total league, so the top 4 teams go off that seeding. I really wish they wouldn't, because I would love to see Quebec Halifax as the Eastern Conference Final, Sherbrooke Gatineau as the Western Conference Final. They've had great battles all year long, and I mean, right now it would be. That's exactly what it would be. Yeah. No, it would be Halifax would be number 2 seed, so it would be Quebec and Gatineau, and Halifax and Sherbrooke. If all 4 teams get there without any upsets, which I don't foresee into round 2, I guess, depending who gets through it. But I just hope we don't get robbed of Gatineau Halifax based off their little 2-game rivalry. I think that is the final that kind of everybody wants, other than us, to see Halifax.
I'd rather not have Halifax in the final, but
that's the way that they're going to play, is in the final, and based off their 2-game series, everybody kind of wants to see that, because there's that little bit of bad blood, and you don't always get that when you play each other twice from so far away.
I know exactly what you mean, and it's. I think that's why it's such a competitive league, and I think we even had some. If I just searched Moncton Wildcats on Twitter, you saw some OHL fans and some WHL fans, tuning into our games and in the Q games to see what our league is like this year. So no, there's definitely some good exposure. There's some good teams, and there's, like I said, there's going to be players that are going to be hurting because these teams are going to beat up each other, and there's, that's what I love, the whole injuries don't get released or revealed until the teams are eliminated. No, I would be surprised if there's already a couple players out there that are hurting.
Yeah. Have you caught any other CHL action, like OHL, WHL? Like Windsor looks like they're in trouble. Connor Bedard walked in and
stole the
show, punched Saskatoon in the mouth, which 68 teams? So 66 teams are having problems getting fans in the building. Saskatoon and Regina are going to do all right, and hopefully that thing goes. Yeah. Hopefully that thing goes 7. But I mean, I've been trying to catch playoff games here and there. It's tough when you don't really know the players to follow it. But have you caught any of the games?
Obviously, Barrie.
Yeah.
I've watched.
They have 2-0?
They're 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah, so they won the 2 games in Barrie, and then they lost the first game in Hamilton. So they're doing well. That's the only really outside of the Q game that I've watched. The WHL is just too late for me. And that's that. 11 o'clock starts. Yeah, no thanks.
You got to pregame nap that if you're really invested. You got to pregame nap that.
It's pretty sad when game 3 in Baie-Comeau was an 8 p.m. start, and I need to have a nap for that.
Yeah. Saturday I worked till noon, and then I got home, did a few things around the house, and I'm like, all right, well, I got the Wildcats, then I got WrestleMania. I might need to pregame nap this. And 3:30 to 5:30, I pregame napped it, got up, got to the rink, and I felt ridiculously refreshed. Mm-hmm. Any of the teams that are down 0-2, Charlottetown, St. John, Blainville, Cape Breton, any of them win? Or you think it's all?
I think it's done. They're Cape Breton's chance was game 2.
Yeah.
If they had any chance of making it a series, they had to win that game, and they
I feel like that with Charlottetown too.
They let it slip away. Yeah.
I would, if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick Charlottetown, just because I
Quebec's
think
too strong.
Yeah, but I think if you get Robillard has played really well for about 50 minutes in each game. And I think in Charlottetown, if they get that fan support, I think they might be the one to get at least one of those teams we mentioned. But Blainville, St. John, nope. And I agree. I kind of wanted I think we all wanted the Cape Breton surprise, and that's not happening.
No, that's
just too.
That was their chance.
Yeah.
Like I said, they blew it. They blew it.
You blew it. All right, let's get into the weekly rewind.
Weekly Rewind.
Welcome to the Weekly Rewind, presented by Local Sports Pub. Looking for a great place to have some wings, beers, and watch sports with your friends? Head to 1715 Main Street, where the Salty Sea Dog used to be. All-day happy hour on Mondays, where Molson products are $5.50 a pint, and it's Game 3 viewing party tonight. It's wing night. You like wings? Check. You like beer? Check. You like Wildcats hockey? Check. Guess what? You can get all 3 tonight. You can get a pound of wings and fries, $15.99, and Game 3 on all the screens. We got a series.
Do we ever?
We have a
Do we ever?
series. It is a game apiece as it shifts back to Baie-Comeau for games 3, 4, and 5. Game Friday, game 1, a 4-3 overtime victory for the Wildcats, coming back from a 3-1, down 3-1. Special teams was a big part of that. The Lotion goal, obviously it tied the game up, but special teams was a major key in that game 1.
It's a key in both. It was a key in both games, right? It's game 1 was it's almost the games, they were kind of like carbon copies of each other, right? And so you have game 1, you had Baie-Comeau up to a 3-1 lead. Moncton Storms back to win 4-3 in OT. And game 2, Moncton out 2-3-0 lead, worst lead in hockey.
Yeah.
And Baie-Comeau comes back to win 4-3. It's these 2 games were literally carbon copies of each other, and I think that's kind of what we expected out of the series, right? It's I know I said last week that I thought Moncton was going to win both games. Well, okay, I was off by one goal, and God damn, they had their chances. Man, God, game 2, I mean, I don't want to talk too much about game 1, but I mean, game 2, they had chances. They had numerous chances in overtime. They dominated the overtime. I've never seen so many opportunities, high scoring opportunities be stopped. And it was that goal, that Lotion gripper that went through Chiarlo's glove. It's like, as soon as he got his replacement glove, that's like how he was making every save. Every save with his glove.
Yeah.
It was, everything was a glove save. So maybe don't go glove.
Well, and I think if that shot goes over his shoulder or goes through his arm, I think Moncton's up 2-0, but I think the fact that it went through the glove, I was like, why is he going straight? Like the other goalie wasn't moving. So I was like, they're not pulling him in a playoff game for a rookie. And I was like, oh, because he kind of looked at his glove and I was like, that's weird. And then he got in there and he threw it down the hallway. And I was like, I think he just ripped that through his glove. And I think Loshing ripping that through the glove and them not being able to use a timeout there, they did later on, but I think not being able to use a timeout there and settle everything down, take your time getting your glove, get everything kind of reset. I think that made a big change for Baie-Comeau in game 2. And we talked about this on the pregame or on last week with John Louis. These teams are as even as you can get. Like 4-4 over the past 5 years. They split the season series. What was Kevin's tweet? Like everything hits are exactly the same. Like this is as even as you can get in a playoff series, and both these teams are showing it right now. And I think when I look back to game 1, the hit changed a lot, but I think the Wildcats just to start out were just a little bit nervous. They weren't quite sure what playoff hockey was because they're like. We think they're in year 3 of the rebuild. They're kind of in year 2 of the actual rebuild with a full year. They're all getting their playoff experience together. And I think they were just kind of nervous, and Baie-Comeau felt that, got out to the lead on a road game that you want. Once Moncton kind of found their groove, they played well from the last half of the first game to the first half of the second game until the Carlo shot through the glove. And they and even in the game 2, that was the 9-2 Wildcats we saw. Game 1 early on was like the Wednesday Wildcats that we saw that had trouble with Cape Breton, and the team that we saw most of the year that was kind of up and down, and the Get Real team. Early on in game 1, we saw the Be Real team, and they unfortunately kind of went into a little protective mode for about 7 minutes and allowed Baie-Comeau to get back in it.
That's what you have to avoid. You can't go into protect mode in the playoffs. It's going to come back and bite in the ass, and that's what it did. It's as soon as I saw that 3-0 lead, I was like, okay, so 3-0 lead. According to Drawcast, they only need one more goal, and this one's in the bag. And
it's so true.
It's true. What he said last week, it was if Charlo allows 4 goals or more, their record is 7-21 or something like that. But if he allows less than 4 goals, it's like complete opposite.
18-2.
Yeah. So you're literally like, okay, so 4 goals is clearly what we need to work out. Work out here,
which is really tough to do in the playoffs.
And man, I just can't believe how many chances they had in game 2. Like it's Alexi Daniel must have had 4 or 5 glorious scoring opportunities and couldn't bury it.
Auger he had one that was called back. Then he had, I think, a shot dead center in the slot. Baudouin had one in overtime and late in the third where he was right in front of the net. He deked, and Charlo used all of his 6-foot frame and the half an inch of a skate blade to seal that post. It was so. That was the first double overtime game I'd ever seen.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep. I'd only ever seen. I've never seen overtime. Like I've never seen NHL playoff hockey, and all the times I went to the dub, it usually was one overtime. I don't think I've ever been to a double overtime live. So that I am so glad I have section 108 with no one behind me, because I didn't use my seat for the final 10 minutes of the third period into the first overtime in game 1. I didn't sit down in game 3. First period, I'm like, I'm having fun. Third period, I'm like, I don't like this anymore. I want to go home. It's just, oh my goodness.
I wanted to be in bed at 9:30 on Saturday night, and that didn't happen. No, it was that was a late. I shouldn't say late night. It's 11 o'clock, but it's. I just there should be a 2-0 Wildcats lead right now. There's not, and now we have to go play 3 games there, which is going to be tough. Smaller ice surface. So it's if you thought the games were we're physical in Moncton. Wait until you see these next 3 because, smaller ice surface, much more room to throw the body and make hits and make plays. So we'll see, the reaction time is going to be a little off a little bit. So I think the team that adapts, and obviously Baie-Comeau has been doing it all season. So, like a split second, that could be the difference. Because you get in Moncton, you get set up for a one-timer. Well, you've got to time it because it's NHL size rink in Baie-Comeau, shorter ice. You've got to get it ready, and you've got to be ready for that split second difference to get the shot off. And we'll see. We'll see. The next 3 games will be tough.
Yeah, I mean they have what was Kevin's tweet in the 9 games they played in Baie-Comeau?
7-1-1 in their last 9 visits to Baie-Comeau, dating back to
2018 or 19.
Yeah, it's what he included the playoff series, the 7-game playoff series. Let me just grab the numbers here.
I mean, step 1, maybe don't let guys stand wide open in the slot.
Yeah,
that might be step 1. I know Gabe had. I knew what his intention was in game 1, and good on Lacroix for allowing him to keep playing and not just sit him on the bench for the mistake. But he went to the half wall and they all missed it. And I can't remember who was wide open in the slot. That's game 1. Who was it? Lassard wide open.
Yep.
Game 2, off the half wall, the guy that should have been suspended, standing in front of the net, Justin Poirier, and I don't know if it just Hamel wasn't sure if he was there and didn't want to lay down to commit. I'm not blaming Hamel, but I mean, there's not many goalies in the league. They're going to stop a snipe from guys in the slot. So you stop those 2, and Moncton's got a 2-0 lead, and it's just it's those little mistakes on the OT winner. Marcel just rings it around the boards and just kind of misses Splendowski, goes all the way to the half wall, and they miss the guy that's standing in front of the net off the tip. And it's just little mistakes, and it's a learning process for them. And for the most part, they've played really well, and they've done an excellent job. I think on the power play, they're 3 for 6. They're 50% on the power play, which is keeping us in games. I mean, Baie-Comeau's got 7 5-on-5 goals. We've got 4 5-on-5 goals. So it's if we can keep the power play going, we get the power plays, because going to Quebec, power plays may be a little bit tougher to come by for us. I mean, power plays were tougher to come by with Lee Blank and Mills in game 1, which cost us a defenseman. But do you have that up there?
Yeah, so it's their last 9 visits to Baie-Comeau dating back to January 26, 2018. The Wildcats are 7-1-1, outscoring the Jacquard 41-28. And this includes the 3-1 record during the 2019 playoffs. Their only losses were the 2-1 overtime loss in game 1 of that series, and then a 10-6 loss in the regular season 2018.
I would hope a 10-6 loss is regular season and not playoffs. But this series has got the nastiness to it, for, like I said, for teams that don't play each other a whole lot, like Quebec and Halifax, or Gatineau and Halifax kind of had that. Moncton and Baie-Comeau have found that niche, and not a fan of Poirier. You always find that one player in the playoffs. Not a fan of that kid. The fact that he was playing in game 2, get used to seeing that next year, folks, because that was a joke. That was a full-on push-off, put Etienne Morin right into the boards. He wasn't turning into it. He was completely from behind. He pushed him away. That should have been at least a game. Not even a single call. And I think that's the most frustrating part. The overtime lack of power plays, that's fine. It was both teams. Mm-hmm. That's kind of old school hockey. I was fine with that. But you can't miss those egregious hit from behinds, which kind of turned around. I mean, if Poirier's not in game 2, he doesn't score, and maybe we're up 2-0. And, you saw it after the hit. Alexis Daniel goes after Poirier. Good on the captain for going after him. But he knows he can't drop the gloves, A, because Poirier is probably not going to fight him, but B, if he does, that's 5 and 10 minutes in the box, and we lose our captain, which Poirier and Daniel, I think I'd take that trade-off in a fight. But that's not – you're not going to – the guys are already not wanting to fight. And it's hits like that need to be held accountable. Hit from behind needs to be gone. But that's in the past. Now we're looking to game 3 tonight. I think it's really important for Moncton to have a lead. And I know they had a lead in game 2 and that evaporated. But,
have a lead and show us that they can protect it.
Yeah.
But
not too early. Like, no, don't go into protection mode at the 30-minute mark of the game.
Hold the lead.
Yeah.
Right. Don't sit back and don't sit back and expect it to close it out that way. Your D-core is too young for that to happen. Yeah. It's that's not going to happen. Just keep pushing. Keep pushing. Get a 4th goal. Get a 5th goal. Get a 6th goal. Make it more difficult for them for Baie-Comeau to get back in the game. That's just keep pushing. Right. There's just because you have 3 goals doesn't mean you have to stop there. Go out and get some more. Yep.
And they were so close to finding that next one. So yeah, that's game 3. You ready for everyone's favorite part of the show?
Yeah, sure.
Eric Murray, realtor, buy our house from him. Stick tap of the week.
Okay, so the stick tap of the week is going out to one half of the Halifax Herdcast. Mr. John Strobridge stepping up for buying my Cavendish tickets. So yeah, that is I've probably for the past 2 months, anytime Cavendish Beach Music Festival would post on Facebook, I would comment, selling 2 weekend general admission passes for so much money. Message me if you're interested. And it just so happened on Thursday, Mr. Strobridge must have saw that comment.
And took advantage?
And immediately messaged me and said, do you actually have tickets for sale? I'm interested. And within 20 minutes, we had a deal done. The money was in my bank account, and the tickets were emailed to him.
Nice.
So, I got, of course.
And you flipped those right into Morgan Wallen tickets.
I did not.
Oh, okay.
No, I flipped those right
I thought that was going to be the big reveal.
I flipped those right onto my wife's visa so she can go to Ontario and spend money. So that's honestly that was nice. It was good to go into the weekend with a couple extra $100 in the back pocket, even though it just immediately went onto a credit card. And so I was happy to finally get rid of those. I will probably still go to Cavendish. I might only go to one of the days, but just to get rid of that off my back is a nice feeling, because I was starting to get stressed out. Because literally nobody was messaging me, and I had them on Kijiji, I had them on Facebook Marketplace, I had them everywhere, and
you're like, I don't want to drop them anymore. I don't want to drop them anymore.
I wasn't getting any hits.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Strobridge stepped up, and it was easy business transaction. Let's put it that way.
And it was all e-transfer, you said?
Oh yes.
So you didn't meet him in Halifax in a shady backyard, and you're just like, I got your gift here, bro.
Yeah. Here's the stuff.
Here's the stuff, and then he gave you an envelope full of cash.
No, I would probably, if that happened, I'd probably put a bunch of white flour in the envelope, so when he opened it would all fall out of the place. But no, that was
the stick tap.
Sorry, that was it was easy lemon squeezy, easy money. It was cooking done, like I said, within half an hour.
And who's Cavendish again?
It's Kane Brown, Chris Stapleton, and see, that's what I mean. I can't even name the third headliner.
Oh yeah, there's. I thought there was 2. That's why I was asking. I knew.
Yeah, there's Jake Owen. Jake Owen's the third one. Megan really likes Kane Brown. Who doesn't love Kane Brown? He's a good-looking man. But I'd probably go see him just so she could see him. And Chris Stapleton would be a hell of an act to see too. Yeah. But
hey, you could probably go down to Bangor. I think they're both playing in Bangor too on a tour or a festival together. So it's probably cheaper to go to Bangor than it is to go to
Probably
Cavendish.
Is, yeah. And it reminds me, I still haven't canceled my my hotel booking for Charlottetown, so I'll have to do that too.
Oh, I thought that was part of the package.
No. I just
does Mr. Strobridge know that's not part of the package?
Oh, he's aware.
Okay.
Yeah. It's tickets only.
The Stick Tap Week, sponsored by Eric Murray Real Estate with the RE/MAX Avante team. If you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Greater Moncton or surrounding area, make sure to check him out on social media or give him a call at 506-863-8802.
And that brings us to the Wildcast Wildcat of the Week, presented by Rosemary Lynn Massage and Spa. There it is. Take advantage of their loyalty card. Right now they have I just had it up and now I got to go find it again. It's their birthday month. Yay, in April. So basically, if you book an appointment in the month of April, you are entered into a draw for a gift basket with a value over $600. There's a $300 gift certificate to Rosemary Lynn Massage. There's a bunch of salts, sea salts, scrunchies, claw clips, bath bombs, basically stuff I don't really know about. But if you have an appointment for the month of April, you're entered into that draw. Give them a call, 506-830-1224, or drop in for a visit at 1224 Mountain Road. This one's pretty easy. I mean, he had an article come out today from Mr. Lalancette. It's Etienne Morin. I mean, 2 games, he's got 5 points, a goal, 4 assists. He got us kind of going in game 1 with as the Wildcats put it, that prototypical Etienne Morin move around, find the lane, snipe top corner, and he's doing, on the power play, he's getting it to Loshing to get the puck in the net. He's just having a series that we just kind of assume he's going to have. As the MVP all year, he stepped into that role, and he's just kind of leading the team. I know Baudouin kind of led the charge with 3 assists in game 1, but Etienne's been there and just kind of leading everything from the back end. So your Wildcats Wildcat of the Week is number 5, Etienne Morin. We talked about it earlier. The local sports pub is the place to be tonight. We are hosting our playoff viewing party, unofficial Wildcats.
If you go to the Sports Rock, you're fired.
We call it the unofficial viewing party. The local sports pub calls it the official Wildcats viewing party. Either way, the game is at 8. So if you want to get there and get some food, remember they do have a ghost kitchen. So if you're wanting food, best to be there around 7, quarter after 7-ish, because I think it might be busy. I've heard there's going to be a few people there. It is wing night. So as I said, you've got the pound of wings and fries for $15.99. We're doing a pregame show. We might be doing a postgame show if Jeremy's still awake. Or if
there's overtime, there's no way I'm staying awake. I'll be falling asleep at the bar.
No.
I hope Denis Dwarinos shows up in his big
He's going to be there. Did you hear it? Did you see his tweet?
No.
Oh my God. I got to find that. It's nothing bad, but it's so funny.
Is it in French? Are you going to?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not going to. No. Dorian, where's
I'd love to see that guy show up as Baie-Comeau jersey.
He probably will.
With like a canoe paddle. It's like, row. Where is it? I'll see this tweet in there.
I like how when I search him, I get literally everybody else in the world named Denis Dorion. There he is. So on the weekend, he's gonna be there. He's gonna be with the lads. He says, "I'll be there with the lads. Come support the best podcast in the queue." Appreciate that. # will report to Baie-Comeau. March 31st, he was one of the 15 fans that were at the game.
Oh, yes.
Things I learned while wearing an away team's jersey in my own city. People are so nice in Moncton. At least 20 people told me to enjoy my time in Moncton. I've also had about 30 people that now believe I played in Baie-Comeau for 3 years, and I'm currently playing in Belgium.
Yep.
So, I got to believe that people believe he played in Baie-Comeau because you called him the goaltender of the week about a month ago.
That's true, yeah.
But yeah, I got to believe he will be wearing his Baie-Comeau jersey. If he is, we're gonna boo him. But yeah, no, I think that's just mint for that guy. Like when I read that, his wife was killing herself walking around, and everybody thinks he's from Baie-Comeau. So apparently, we are some nice people here in
Jesus.
here in
Maritime hospitality.
Maritime hospitality. Yep, yeah. That's why I'm here. But yeah, tonight, Jeremy and I will be there. A little bit of a pregame show live on Instagram, presented by Alpha's Appliance Solutions, the largest Maytag dealer east of Montreal. If it doesn't go to overtime, we might do a postgame show. If it does go to overtime, I'll still have the postgame show, but it'll be from the studio.
Postgame.
Yeah. I'll be like, so how do you feel about game 3? I'll be like, yeah, Move that mic. And as well, don't forget to vote for our wonderful sponsors from now till June 1st on the moncton.communityvotes.com. Antlers Whiskey Lounge. They are the partner of the local sports pub. Eric Murray Realtor. Eric, you better be at the game. And Rosemary Massage and Spa. Rosemary Lynn's Massage and Spa under healthcare and massages. Enjoy Game 3. If you're with us, local sports pub. If you have to go to the Sports Rock, just get out and support the team. This is what we want. I started this thing to help coverage on this team, and if us doing a viewing party means the Wildcats are doing one for some fans that can't get to the local sports pub, that's perfect. That's all I've ever wanted, is to help promote this hockey club. And just get out, support them for Game 3, and hopefully we're coming back to Moncton with a series victory. But if we got to come back to play Game 6 to eliminate them, for the love of Christ, get some tickets.
Yes. 2,700
people, Game 1. No, 2,200 and 3,100 Game 3. There was half the people got posters. Mm-hmm. So something's got to get fixed. But either way, Game 3 tonight, local sports pub. Join Jeremy and me. Have a good week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Wildcast Podcast. Follow us on social media at Moncton Wildcast.